For my boyfriend and I, Dying Light 2 is like the equivalent of having a brand new jungle gym installed across the street from your house. We eagerly waited for the weekend while it just sat in our Steam library taunting us before we could finally play for real. By the time Friday night rolled around, we were about as hungry as the zombies, and an hour and a half of gameplay later, we were finally able to engage in jolly cooperation and a long-awaited Dying Light 2 date night.
Whoa!
It's always been kinda a circle jerk between us and our friends about how long it takes for a co-op campaign to start in Dying Light. You spend like 40 minutes climbing on cranes and throwing fireworks before we can actually have the privilege of seeing each other face to face. Dying Light 2 wanted to one-up its predecessor, not just in the visual spectacle,
I wish Crane could have seen this,
but also in doubling how long it takes to see your friends. Ah! Oh my god, I'm cliff jumping! Wow, underwater doesn't look like ass this time. Didn't someone say the main story was supposed to take 20 hours? I don't know if Techland pulled that number out of their ass, but we're well past 30 hours and the end isn't in sight. Not that I'm complaining, we're having fun, but 20 to 500 is a pretty damn big window. I mean, for God's sakes, we got a schedule to keep here. I tried my best to pay a little more attention to the story this time around, but I kept getting hung up on random shit and losing track of what was going on. I'm not really getting this game.
Me either.
Like, I noticed that you don't have to toggle sprint. Your character just automatically does it now. My pinky finger really appreciates this change, but the cutscenes where we're meant to walk and talk to an NPC are super awkward. I end up looking like I'm real impatient as I sprint forward a few feet and then have to wait. Usually my boyfriend's the one to point out this sort of nitpicky bullshit, but I guess he didn't even pick up on it because he was too busy digging through trash cans.
What do you got in those?
Coffee cups and food scraps.
Yeah, we'll take them.
Hand them over.
Stealth plays a much bigger role than it did in the previous game. Part of that is because mechanically there have been some changes to how night is handled, and the other half is that we were weak as shit and couldn't just murder anything that looked at us funny.
Take down, let's go.
Yeah.
Threat has been neutralized. Wait, it didn't work.
There are loud zombies that'll cry wolf if they see you, so it's a good idea not to make too much of a fuss when you're moving around at night. It's a real shame there's an experience modifier when you play at night because it makes my adrenaline junkie boyfriend love doing everything in the dark.
Night, 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 night.
That's arguably the best time to play because all the zombies come out of their hiding spots indoors. All the goodies are stashed inside the buildings where you gotta tiptoe your way through an undead minefield. But it kind of breaks the immersion when you do all the snooping around and then our guy just wheels back and kicks open a box. Jeez, I'm trying to be quiet. The horror aspect is still here, but to be honest, things seem a little less dark. I don't know if the moon shines brighter here than Huron or what, but the fact that I can see anything at night makes me feel a lot less anxious. We made fun of needing a nightlight when we played Dying Light 1, but now I see why the little girl in me appreciates sleeping with the light on. Playing games at release always reminds me of how spoiled I've been all these years.
I'm like literally stuck in the door.
Can you pee to me?
Yeah, I can pee to you. It's a little silly that I have to.
I'm so used to him having all the answers to my obtuse questions when we play, but now he's just as in the dark on all this as I am.
I'm assuming it was one of importance. I don't know if there's like more important windmills than others though, to be honest with you.
Hell, I'm especially not used to him not knowing what the different buttons do.
Oh, that's middle mouse.
Why would they change that? It's totally the blind leading the blind out here, and it's that much more dangerous when the blind is leading you off the side of a building. I know my parents used to ask me if I'd follow my friends off a bridge to make sure I could think for myself, but the reality is, in the apocalypse, I totally would. At least this way, it's not my fault we're both dead. Oh my god, you are in hot pursuit. We'll be running in a direction for like 25 minutes before I think to ask him what the hell we're doing. And that's when he'll tell me he has no idea where he's going. I figured out pretty quick that if I'm not spamming the survivor sense button every 5 seconds, then we're completely fucked. Even though things aren't quite as dark as before, there's still more than one reason to be afraid of the dark this time around. Now, there's an anxiety-inducing timer every time you step out of the sun. Let's just say, Aiden wouldn't last long making videos.
We're talking. What the fuck? Did you see that just now?
You've got to pop some shrooms or your zombie asthma inhaler to reset your immunity, and the whole thing is a big mess when you add a girlfriend to the mix. It was a dick move giving me a breath meter when I'm not even underwater, game. You're lucky he's willing to keep track of things for both of us, but I don't know what it says about me that I need a reminder to breathe. If you wanted a review of the game, we might be a little underqualified for that. We both seem to agree that we liked the parkour in Dying Light 2 a lot more than its predecessor, but with that being said, we preferred the combat in the original. The hits on zombies in Dying Light 1 just felt much more crunchy and impactful, like you were really doing some damage. Although, I don't think either of us missed having to break 3 weapons over a single zombie to get it to stop moving in the early game. That was some Breath of the Wild level durability bullshit. All that said, it should come as no surprise that we ended up spending way more time playing rooftop hopscotch instead of slicing up dead boys in Dying Light 2, even though it gets interrupted a lot by one of us falling and needing rescue. Shit. How did you make that? I was really excited when I learned there was a parrying system in this game because I need my practice for some upcoming releases. But damn if I can't nail the timing. I feel like a complete punching bag trying to land a perfect guard, and every time I do, I stagger almost as hard as the enemy because I surprise myself. He doesn't even have an arm! At some point, we stop booting up the game to do side quests or missions and just race each other around the city. I like just climbing up to a rooftop and checking out the view. Besides, the Peaky has got my back.
Karen, there's a door that I can't open by myself. Can you come help me?
A lot of times with a game like this, date night ends up steering us away from the main storyline and down the rabbit hole of accomplishing nothing in an evening aside from having a ton of fun. I expect we'll get back around to the missions in about 20 to 500 hours, give or take.